Hello, welcome to Cross Culture with Bola. If you're new to this conversation, please hit the subscribe button. If you're one of my regulars, thank you for joining in today. And today we're going to be talking about R.E.S.P.E.T. Remember that Aretha Franklin song? That great hit, R.E.S.P.E.T. One of the things he said in that song, he said, find out what it means to me. She said, give it to me. Give me a little respect. She didn't ask for a lot of it. She said a little respect. Oh, you may walk in and find out I'm gone. I gotta have R.E.S.P.E.T. I was having a conversation with my friend last week, and the concept of R.E.S.P.E.T. respect came in. And she was talking about how we have little of it in society today, how generation of kids don't understand what it means. And I kind of differed a little bit, and I said to her, even though I agree based on where we were coming from, and I said, you know what, I think they understand what respect is. I think the problem is their concept of respect. So today I want us to talk about respect. Everybody wants to be respected. Actually, in our church 2 Sundays ago, one of the kids actually said respect goes both ways. Parents respect for children and children need to respect parents. The question though is, when you talk about respect, what do you mean? Does it mean the same thing to everybody? It means different things across cultures. In my culture, showing respect to an adult meant that if somebody was older than you, you don't call them by their first names. You give them a title, auntie, uncle, and it doesn't matter that you're not related, but you just don't address them by their first names. Also, when you want to greet, you courtesy. There's a little courtesy different from males and females. You greeted them, and that was the definition of respect in that culture. In other cultures, respect means you give a hug. It means, you give a hug. In some cultures, it also means that you don't stretch forth your hands to shake an adult first. You have to let the adult take the lead and, you follow suit. It also means in some cultures that when an adult is in the room, you answer questions. You don't initiate conversations. It means different things in different cultures. And it's important for us to understand that respect is a universal language. What it means, however, differs from culture to culture. And in human relationships, this lack of understanding of what this thing means in the different culture leads to a lot of problems. For instance, let me give you an example. There is this American girl who was engaged to be married to a Nigerian guy. And the boy took her to go and meet his mom. And she got there. Let's assume that, the mother's last name is Jane Doe. And she gets there and she says, oh, good afternoon, Mrs. Doe. How you doing? And the mother shrunk. She was like, what am I hearing? This girl is going to call me Miss Doe? Really? And that set the stage for the conversation. I must say it took a minute for them to get things to where it needed to be because the woman felt disrespected. Meanwhile, the African-American girl felt she was respecting her because she didn't call her by her first name. She called her Mrs. Doe. That was respect enough. But of course, over the course of weeks, months, and all that, and several conversations, they both understood what respect means in the different culture. And I'm glad to say that they have a good relationship today. So, how do you respect people? Do you respect them the way you want to be respected, or you respect them the way they want to be respected? It's something for us to think about. And a lot of the conflicts that we have in relationships is because a lot of us don't take the time, we don't make the effort to understand what a word means to somebody versus the other person, whether you're talking of a marital relationship or you're talking of, friends or professor-student relationship and all that. I want to challenge us today to find out, whoever it is that you're in a relationship with, I want you to find out or ask them, how can I show you respect? A lot of people want to show respect the way they want to get it. It doesn't work that way, because you're different. The other person is different too. So it's very important that we find out from the other person what respect means. Find out for your husband. When you say, I don't respect you, what do you mean? How can I show you respect? That really helps. And respect is not only to individuals. Respect also to law enforcement officers. One of the things I have found out is that a lot of people do not respect law enforcement officers. And it doesn't take a whole lot to respect them. We go there with our chips up, with our preconceptions of law enforcement officers. They don't like black people. They're always acting out and stuff like that. But I have found out that when I come in contact with the law enforcement officer and I say, oh, good afternoon, officer, how you doing today? It sets the tone for the conversation. The man feels respected. He feels that I see him, and he's more likely to be nice and, cordial with me. So respect sets the tone for every and any conversation, whether it is for a job interview, in human relationships and all that. We all must make it a duty to show respect to the other person in the language the other person understands. I also want to talk about respect to institutions of state. I am really, I don't know what word to use, shocked at the disrespect I see for institutions of state. Look, let's get it. If we disrespect these institutions that has kept society together for so long, we are all going to be in trouble. It doesn't matter whether you agree or not. For instance, the Supreme Court of the United States, the buck stops on their table. You don't have an appeal anywhere else. You have to appeal to God if there's a process for that. So whether we agree with decisions of the Supreme Court or not, we owe that institution the due respect that it deserves. We have no business going to the homes of Supreme Court justices and picketing in their homes. That is not good. It's not the individuals, but the seat that they occupy. It's the same thing with the president of the country, president of whatever country you belong to. You can have problems with their decision, but we need to respect the office. We need to. We need to have these conversations around the kitchen table with our children, in our families and all that, and talk about what respect means. Parents going to school and fighting their kids' teacher isn't something that should be encouraged at all. It doesn't matter how much you disagree with the teacher. It doesn't matter what the teacher does. We can have these conversations respectfully so that we are listening to each other. A lot of the times we have these talks, but they are not conversations, because nobody is listening to the other person. Everybody just wants to be right and all that. That does not show respect at all. So I want to challenge us this week to look at it. Respect is expressed differently in the different cultures. How do you express respect? How do you demonstrate respect in your culture? Do you understand how respect is demonstrated and received in a culture outside of yours? It's a week of R.E.S.P.E.T. Let's try this week. Just make up your mind to show respect to somebody in the language they understand, not in the language that you understand. The world will be a much better place if we all just relate with each other on the platform of respect. I respect you, you respect me. I don't have to agree with you, but we can respect each other. Try it and let me know how it goes this week. God bless you. Have a great week.